good, YouTube? What's good, YouTube? This is Wawa Echo. My name's Parker.
And my name is Zach.
And we are here for our aftermath video for Survivor Series 2017. Just finished the pay-per-view. I'm pretty tired. Even though it's not really that late after watching that long of a pay-per-view and having work and you've had work and so we're tired. So we're going to try and keep this kind of short. Hopefully we won't get too long-winded like sometimes it's what happens. But yeah, let's get into it.
So we start the pay-per-view off, the main card, with the New Day versus the Shield. And this is the first match that the Shield has had as a trio on a pay-per-view in
3 years?
3 years, I think. And they debuted at Survivor Series 5 years ago. So this was a really special. I feel like they didn't really build it up as that special with all that meaning behind it. But it was a very special thing. And you had the New Day, who is on top of their game. I mean, they're putting out some of the best matches that they've had as a trio. Honestly, I got tired of them around this time last year, and I was just like, I wish they would just split up and go their own ways. I'm really glad that they have gotten a lot better, and so this was a really good match. Something that we were both looking forward to, mainly because we love the Shield and we love the New Day's work, and so the match saw the Shield actually picking up the victory, like everyone suspected. That was pretty obvious. But there were some kind of close calls. It's like, okay, are they really going to have the Shield lose? But a lot of back and forth action, high paced, just really something that was never boring. And I don't think the match was that long. We haven't looked up match length like we usually do, but I don't even think the match went that long, which is something that I feel like it needs to stay special. We've said that before about the New Day versus Usos. So it needs to stay a certain length. That way there's no awkward moments. There's not any sort of just stalling points. And this match had it all. It was really good. Probably maybe one of the best of the night. Overall, we'll talk kind of an overall thing at the end, but overall the card was pretty good, and so it's kind of hard to pick a best, and I don't know if this would be the best, but it's up there. It was a pretty good match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. For me, kind of middle of the pack-ish, just compared to some of the other ones. But I would say maybe fourth best. But out of 7, it hits middle.
That's right at
it hits the middle. But it was really good. Next, we did have the first of the 2 traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. We had the women, that was Team Raw, which was, unfortunately, the Captain Alicia Fox. Unfortunately, Nia Jax was in there. Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Asuka, they were up against Team SmackDown, that was led by Becky Lynch. Poor Becky. Naomi, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella, yes. And this was a low point for me in the pay-per-view, personally. And I don't want to, it has nothing to do with the fact that they're women at all. But the thing is that it just, to me, was not enjoyable to watch. There was a lot of botches, a lot of mistakes, mess-ups. Most of them performed by Nia Jax. Oh my God, she is so bad. Oh Lord, she is just so I don't even remember all. I just know she took a hit. Her momentum was supposed to carry her through the ropes, and she doesn't.
Basically
she
turn around and crawls through,
and then shuffles over there and then falls through. It's so god awful, and she went for some move that she messed up. God, it was so bad. And then, and then she was stupidly counted out. I thought that was dumb, because they're protecting her, even though she's the worst wrestler probably in the whole roster, both Raw and SmackDown. No, there's Alicia Fox. Speaking of Alicia Fox, she sucked too. I don't think there was a positive moment in there for Alicia Fox, except for when she got eliminated. The match unfortunately started with a quick elimination. Becky Lynch got eliminated by a stupid roll up. Like Bailey put in like a blind tag and rolled up Becky, and that was really disappointing. Seeing as Becky was, the captain, you would think she would do more. I guess not. And but then Bailey, I believe, was quickly taken out, and it kind of evened back up. And then there were a couple more eliminations. Eventually, it did get to Asuka on her own versus Naomi and Tamina, Natalia and Tamina. Not bad. Naomi and Natalia have two similar names. It's very confusing. And Asuka ended up making them both tap out, and she was the sole survivor. I thought this was a good idea to really show Asuka in a strong way. I thought she came across pretty well. I would say the best. That's the best we've seen of her so far since coming to the main roster. So I think that's good. I'm hoping that they'll kind of reward him, kind of say like, okay, you'll because you were the sole survivor, we're going to put you towards the title, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Because obviously, if they're going to keep this undefeated streak, they have to give her the title. It just makes sense. Um, Other than that, nothing, nothing else super memorable, like in a good way. Um, I thought Natalia did well in the match. Um, Other than that, not a whole lot. It was just kind of meh for me. It was definitely uh, I might would even say worst match on the card in my opinion. Maybe if not worst, the next to worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those two. So, well, it's unfortunate. And I'm sure everyone worked really hard and all that. And to me, a problem of it is like there's been too much, especially on the SmackDown side, has been too much exposure of all the women's roster together for me, especially ever since Money in the Bank, which was forever ago. They've been doing multi-women matches. So I don't know. I'm kind of sick of it. I'm wanting to see just a one-on-one feud between a couple of them. And unfortunately, when you do that, because it's such a small roster, you're going to get people that aren't going to have a lot to do, which that sucks. And so maybe that's why they've just been going with the multi women's. But you know, I think quality over quantity personally. But that's that match.
Next, we have the mid card champions, which featured the United
That's
States.
such an insulting way to describe them. Those mid card champions.
You said that during the prediction
Did I?
video? Yes.
I don't remember
you
that.
said they were the mid card champions. Because they are.
I don't
They're
know.
not the world champions. Or whatever. But they're still champions nonetheless. One which I'm proud to say, which would be the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Saw him going against the United States Champion, Baron Corbin. This match, I didn't know what to expect coming in because you have The Miz, who is such a good worker, but you have Baron Corbin, so it's like kind of evens out. And you know, the match wasn't that bad. It wasn't awful, but I mean, it wasn't that great because it just felt like there was not like enough there to sort of deal with. You had Corbin as a heel who needs to get over as a heel, get over as some sort of threat. But anyway, so yeah, Corbin wound up picking up the victory, and it was surprising because we both expected the Miz to win. We didn't expect Corbin to win another day in his life. In fact, we expected him to lose his championship SmackDown. No, I'm joking. But in all honesty, probably pretty soon, yeah. But he did pick up the victory. And this was another thing too. The fact that Baron Corbin would get beat up by Sin Cara every week, and then we have a 3-on-1 situation potentially because you have Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel helping out the Miz, and Corbin is able to take out all of them. Like that's kind of crazy, but that's not really that logical. But whatever. Nothing much or great to discuss here that I can think of. Decent match. Obviously not top top best. But I think that's it.
Yep. And the next was, in my opinion, I would say, like, definitely contender for best match of the night. It was the tag team champions going up against each other. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, up against the Usos. And this was a fantastic match, in my opinion. It was incredible. There was like hard hitting. There was risky spots. Man, they took some risk in there. It was fast paced. It was really, really good. I think every man in that match uh, looked really great. No one really looked bad at all. I don't remember any moment where I was like, that kind of looked like a mess up. I didn't really see that anywhere. Everything seemed really intentional. Uh, all four just amazing. The Usos have been killing it since WrestleMania. Like they have been by far one of the best things, maybe the best thing other than AJ Styles on SmackDown for a long time. And of course Cesaro and Sheamus are both amazing in the ring, and they're great as a team. And there's just there's so much in there that I can't even really uh, nothing super like comes to mind just because everything was so great. Like nothing sticks out like a little bit ahead because the whole match was just really fantastic. It seemed like it was the perfect amount of time. I don't think it went on too long. There wasn't really any uh, dead time. There wasn't a time when there wasn't much going on. Yeah, just both teams came across really great, and the Usos did end up getting the victory, which to me made the most sense. And they've had several match of the year candidates in their feud with the New Day the last few months. So I just think that they're on top of the tag everything division, Ross, whatever you want to call it. They're on top, and I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. So I would say second best match of the night. Like I kind of think that's a little unfair because I think everything except for the hype of it.
Yeah.
Like there was one match that had like I was like more invested in, I guess, because of like the storytelling of a certain individual that we'll get to that puts that match a little above this one, but very very close.
And then we have the match between the women's champions, which saw the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss take on the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. And this was not a good match, in my opinion. I mean, it wasn't awful, but there was like literally almost nothing to.
There's
Like,
no heat.
there was nothing to invest in. Alexa looked like a little coward at most of the match, which I get that she's a heel, but like she's a good heel and she can play a good heel and um, like she can be offensive in the ring and still play a good heel. They don't have to just play cowards, in my opinion. And she's good in the ring, and the back and forth action was really good. And Charlotte is obviously really good in the ring as well. And so like it, I don't know. For us, it was just kind of like I want to go to sleep during this match kind of thing. Again, not because they're women, but because this match. I mean, this card was kind of stacked, and they did. I think they did do right about putting Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte rather than versus Natalia. But either way, it probably would have been a good match because, like you said earlier, Natalia's not all that bad. She had a good showing in the her match. But either way, this saw Charlotte actually picking up the victory, which was surprising on my part, not yours. That is how you are the champion. But
It's my girl Charlotte.
Yeah,
I think a lot of what hurt this match was its placement on the card. The fact that it went right after the tag match, and like man, that was such a awesome moment. We were like on the edge of our seats the whole time. That like that adrenaline faded, and we
Right.
were like, "Ah, man, I'm tired." And but it kind of works because like that was you. They used that for like buffer to like re-energize us, and then we had
Right.
plenty for the next match which was in my opinion just because of the storytelling of one certain champion and just everything about it that I have to give it match of the night, and that is the champions, the big champions, the big sweaty men champions, the one that Vince McMahon loves to wank off to the most of all. I don't know where I'm going. We had the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar up against the WWE Champion AJ Styles, and this just from start to finish was just incredible to me. Um, the start where Brock was just killing AJ. Like AJ got like no offense at all for like a good like few minutes. Like it was a while where we just had Brock manhandle AJ. He was knee strikes, suplexes, everything. It was incredible. Like it was incredible seeing Brock. It was like I'm not the hugest Brock Lesnar fan. Like he started to grow on me since WrestleMania. Like his WrestleMania match was great with Goldberg, and since then, like his match with Joe, his match with Strowman, the 5-way match at SummerSlam was awesome, and so I've gotten more and more hyped for Lesnar. He's become more like I've begun to enjoy him more and more. And so this was really awesome. And then just the selling that AJ is so good at. It was that's what took it for me. Like I think I want to say AJ's a better seller maybe even than Shawn Michaels. Like he is so good at just telling that story of like he was the ultimate underdog, and then he finally uh, there was like the misstep by Brock, and he took advantage and he started working. And he started building back up, and just that story you could get it just came so easily and so naturally. And then I started getting into it. I was like, even though like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know for a fact, 100% that Brock is winning this. But every time AJ went for a cover, I was like, get it, AJ, you got it. And like that's something that's so special. It's such a special talent. It's such a special skill that AJ Styles possesses that I don't think anybody else on this roster at this day and age possesses. And it's because of that. Like Lesnar looked amazing. He looked like a monster. He looked great. But because of AJ and just the way he can tell a story and the way he can just look like so dominating and so like strong, but also look like that underdog that everyone loves to cheer for at the same time somehow is just really talented. It's just a huge talent that he has. It's so unique and just to me that made it the best match of the night. The tag team match might have had more like different stuff because obviously these days Brock Lesnar doesn't do a lot of different stuff. He has his moves that he does, and he does them well. But he's not going for any shooting star presses anymore, though that would be awesome. But so in that tag match we had more like stuff and more unique things. But this to me, the storytelling and everything about it just it took the cake for me. Though could AJ not have kicked out of one F5? The whole place would have went so wild if you'd have let him have one F5. You could have made it look like he didn't get all of it. Even like you could have done something. But that would be my only complaint is that I think AJ should have gotten one kick out from the F5. But other than that, almost flawless match. There were a couple of moments actually that I think were botches. Like I think it was supposed to happen differently. I think that there was a point where AJ looked like he was going to go for like a tornado DDT, but I think Brock slipped and like that and they like fell. But like the way it looked, like even though I think that's what happened, it may not have been. It's hard to tell. That's the thing about it. That's why it's such great storytelling. Is you're not sure whether something was a botch, like a mistake, or was it just like really good storytelling. And part of me thinks it might have been because the commentators, were like, "Ah, did you see that?" Like the way they talked about it too, made me doubt myself on it. But it kind of looked like that's what happened. But it kind of made the match better because that happened. I don't know. I love the match. I don't know if Zach feels as passionately as I do about it, but to me, definitely my favorite Brock Lesnar match of his recent run in the company. And yeah, I just loved it. So,
Oh yeah, I love it too. Probably easily match of the night. If not, like you said, the tag team
it was
match.
super close,
Yeah.
really close.
But then we round off the night with the second traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series team or Survivor Series match, which featured the Raw's team, which was led by Kurt Angle, and it featured Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, um, Triple H, and Braun Strowman. And they faced off against SmackDown's team, which was headed off by Shane McMahon, and that featured Shinsuke Nakamura, aka Shin.
No, never will he be known as
Bobby Roode.
NKA. Never known as.
Oh.
Never known as Shin.
But Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, and John Cena.
Some guy you couldn't see. I don't know.
Some guy that
I couldn't see.
We only saw 4 men out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was
basically
that
it
extra
almost
elimination.
was.
Like, I know, right?
It's funny that that's his.
So yeah, let's talk about that first. With this John Cena kid, he's killed
John Cena kid.
He's like twice as old as I am. Anyway,
he's like 40.
Yeah, he's about 40. But anyway, so yeah, but like building up to the match, like okay, you have the addition of John Cena, and they kind of played that off kind of well with Stephanie and Daniel Bryan early on in the night. Except the only thing I didn't get was, well, y'all heard we had a stacked roster, and then y'all went out and got John Cena. Like, no, they waited until like a couple weeks before, and after everyone else had already built their teams and whatever. I don't know. It was weird that they kind of added him, and then he only did like very few things. He hit a move outside, which took like 10 minutes into the match. He finally did something on the outside. We were like, "Whoa, there's John Cena." And then he came in, hit his 5 moves of doom, took a couple moves, and was eliminated. Was no point in having him there. Could have been used to build up some other person. Um, I mean, maybe not even make an elimination, but at least like make a good showing. But John Cena didn't even do that. So, but you had some really good showings by Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor whenever they were facing off. That was and the
awesome.
crowd was so into it. But those two are really good, which shouldn't even have to be said. But and it probably doesn't.
Vince needs to hear it.
But Vince needs to hear it. They are extremely good. We're waiting for our triple threat match between those two and AJ Styles. Yes.
That's all I want for Christmas. That's all I want.
But yeah, we saw a little bit, which I think was nice. It was a nice teaser. It wasn't like a full on like we're gonna have a good 10-minute face off. It was sort of like, yeah, this is what we can do. These are the kind of styles we have. It was great.
Yeah.
You had good showing by Braun as always. He got taken out from a lot of the match because he was put through the announce table, but that was to be seen. Like take out the biggest guy, whatever. But he looked good as always. Samoa Joe, I was kind of disappointed in. He was actually eliminated by John Cena.
That was a disappointment.
Very disappointing. And that was so stupid. But then the match saw its end through actually 3 guys that Parker had predicted would be the sole survivors: Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Braun Strowman, versus the last person on Team SmackDown, which would be Shane McMahon. And I saw this coming, as it was going, not like before the pay per view, but when Shane finally got into the ring and Braun was like about to step forward, I was like, Triple H is like ready to do something, and like sure enough, he tagged in, and then Just and then Kurt Angle, I did not expect Kurt Angle to tag himself in either, but like whatever. But then Triple H dropped Angle with a pedigree, and then uh, used Shane's body to cover Angle and have him eliminated. And then it almost looked like Triple H had aligned himself with Shane, and the confused look on Braun, uh, until Triple H picked up the victory for Team Raw. Um, and then what happened afterwards was kind of awesome. Especially to get your kind of revenge that you think you deserve because winning by 2 wasn't enough.
I know, I needed to win by 3. That's like the most dominant victory I've had so far. Like, all my victories have been like 1-0, like, basically. I'm pretty sure.
I think you had a 2 victory.
I might have.
But then Braun Strowman attacked Triple H after the match and landed a couple of running power slams on him, and that ended the night. So that match was pretty good. It had a lot of bad elements to it, like we said. It had John Cena. It had John Cena eliminating Samoa Joe. It had. I really didn't have as much from like Bobby Roode or not enough from Finn Balor, in my opinion. Like he got a few big moves out. That missile drop kick to Shane to the barrier.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
If you didn't see that, like subscribe to the network just to see that. Shane McMahon died. And not like always where he falls onto something from really high. Like he died. No, but this was a good match. We enjoyed it very well. It kept it enough. Like obviously, if you have a match that goes on an hour, it's hard to keep interest for that long. And so it had enough of it though that we were invested. It had the star power. We didn't talk about this, but do you realize that like the last 4 people in the match, maybe even the last 5, I don't forget who the 5th to last person was. Well, before him, because you had Randy Orton, you had Shane McMahon, Triple H, Kurt Angle, and then you had Braun Strowman. But that 4 out of 5 people that were the last in the match were older people.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm pretty sure maybe it was Finn. I don't remember if Finn got eliminated.
He got eliminated by Orton, yeah. So
he got eliminated by Orton, but I'm not sure if it was him or. Yeah, because it was Nakamura, then Rude, and then Joe, and then Cena, and then Finn. Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, that was just a little weird. I feel like they are building up Braun, so that's really good. They're building up a few of their younger stars, but all in all, pretty good match.
Yeah.
To end the match.
I still prefer last year's match though. I think it was far superior.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But this was still great. But that is this year's Survivor Series 2017. Overall, a good pay-per-view. Like, even, like, the worst of the matches weren't that bad. You know, it was, like, the matches that were really, really good were amazing. So awesome. And, yeah, I thought it was great. It was good that every match got a good amount of time. It sucks that the build for a lot of them weren't that great, and that's kind of what hurt some of them. But yeah, that was that's our opinion, our take on Survivor Series. I'm not sure what we're gonna see for like this week on Raw and SmackDown because this was all about Survivor Series. You know, you've got obviously Triple H and Angle that you're going to build for WrestleMania, but you know I'm not sure what they're going to do in the meantime. It'll be interesting, and then they didn't really play up Joe versus Balor in that match, so I don't know if that's going to continue. And other than that, there's not really a whole lot that was in there that kind of you can glean to the future. So we're just going to have to wait and see for Raw and SmackDown this week to see if we can get any hints of the direction of everything. But if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. We'd really appreciate it. And comment down in the comment section. It's a good place for those comments. Let us know what you thought of Survivor Series, whether you loved it or hated it. Let us know what your favorite and your least favorite matches were. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our content. Each week we go through Raw and SmackDown. I do Raw on the Raw Rundown, and Zach is in charge of the SmackDown survey. And we go through our respective shows and we give our opinions of everything. So if you would be interested in that, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our videos. And in Clash of Champions next month, we'll obviously have predictions and reactions and aftermaths for that as well. And you'll get to see who gets slapped the next time and who either stays or becomes champion. So lots of stuff, with lots of reasons to subscribe. So make sure you do that. You won't regret it. I promise. You'll live forever. Not really. Unless you believe that, then just go ahead. But with that, I think it's time for us to get on out of here. I think I'm gonna head to bed. Honestly,
I'm about to.
it's like 7:30, but I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. I got work in the morning. But with that, I'm Parker,
And I'm Zach.
and we are Wawa Echo, and we'll see you very soon. Peace.